solid B. There's not too much going on over there, which at the end of the day, that could mean a solid monument when there's not much going on.
All right, you know what? I'll
I
agree,
agree with the
Andrew.
B tier here.
I'll agree, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for
Now,
questioning you.
No, I think it was a valid point.
water treatment, I think it's got to go in A. This is
That's
such a
definitely
classic.
at least A.
Low
Because here's
A
the thing,
because no
right?
elite crates.
No, but it's
Should you guys not have
high.
like an SS plus tier or something? Like,
I feel like S is. I think
S
we can
is
get it. We can see.
we
We
have
can
to
see at the
reserve
end.
S. S is for 100%
Launch site and oil.
premium. Okay,
But we'll get
hold
to
on.
it
Hear
when
me
we
out
get to
though.
it.
Hear me out though. With water treatment, right? You could be a naked, run in water treatment, open that thing. You get 4 brown crates and 2 green crates as a naked. If you spawn your water treatment, you get that immediately within 30 seconds. No gear on your back. That's why
I
it's
mean,
high A tier.
another point for high A tier, it can drop locked crates.
Very often it does. So it can be a high gear PvP area as well as a naked spawn loot up. You get a lot of loot there.
Good
Small die,
recycler
small die.
location too. I think it's a. We're putting it at A for now.
I think A is fair.
A
It's
is a
not quite
fair.
close to S.
Yeah. Now train yard, I think has to be either very high A or low S.
Actually, you know what? Now with the trains, now that they're fully implemented with the train system, it changes the game. I really do appreciate the train looting system and the loot you get from it. Because you can have 30 wagons, and that's a lot of loot.
I think it's fair.
Let's see. What's the downsides of train yard? I guess breaking your ankles if you don't know how to jump on those cranes. They have scientists now, which isn't really a
Yeah.
big problem, but
No, the fact that it has scientists makes it.
but you're not going to go in a train yard without some kind of rad protection.
Yeah, but I think before scientists, you could run it just all the fucking time with no issue. But now that there's scientists, you gotta like actually be like prepared.
Somewhat geared.
Yeah, I think
Also,
I
the loot is decent there too.
I
but it's not
say
that
an A
good.
tier.
I think
would
I
say
put
A
it in
tier.
A tier,
A
above
tier is
water
probably
treatment.
fair. Okay.
All right, now this one is the desert base.
This one does yield a decent amount of loot, but it's very difficult to kill the scientists at the level of loot. Like the amount of loot that
Yeah,
you get, you compare to maybe like tier 1 weapons.
you
So
can
I'd say that's a
compare it to the
B.
trains. Like it's the same amount, or you have to kill more scientists for probably less loot,
True.
and you don't
And
get.
there's less cover.
There's not that much to even do once you've taken it. I think this
And
is probably a D tier monument.
yeah, you know what? I do agree with that because it's definitely on top of the fact that no low tier is going to go to it unless you have to because you build out in the middle of fucking nowhere. On top of that, it's basically just reserved for tier 3 kids that have MLSR rockets. And so it's pretty much the tier 2, there's no reason to go there. Tier 1, maybe.
I'd probably put it below underground trains, but in C tier.
It's not like complete dog water. So
No.
like D, I think D is a little bit too much.
Now speaking of
Especially low
dog water,
C. You gotta feed your doggy some water.
What did I
no.
just fucking walk
Black
into?
tea.
Power plant.
Rust tier list.
A rust.
Power
Power
plant
plant.
is the worst of the better monuments. So I
So
think
it's-
just because it has green crates and it has cards, it has to be B tier.
Mhm.
Like
Oh.
I would put it above excavator, just because excavator
Two
doesn't have green
recyclers.
crates.
It's got 2 recyclers. It's a fucking green card puzzle.
Yeah, and the green card. There's you need a lot of rads, but
Mhm.
I think it's worth it. I think it's not the best monument in the world, but it's better than nothing. It's better than living by supermarket.
True.
No grubs. Usually it's in the snow. Like it's not bad. It's not that bad.
It's definitely good for low tier kids because nobody likes it.
Yeah, nobody likes fucking power plant, but that's its benefit.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Arctic base.
You know what? I did that with Docker the other day. I'd say it's a solid A tier monument.
There's
I
a lot of
really
shit.
enjoyed it. Yeah,
It-
you can get snowmobiles. There's actually elite crates, or not really elite crates, but there's unique crates
Yeah,
where you can get ammo, you can get rifle body crates, you can get food crates, all kinds of crates. It's really good.
I would probably put it.
It's hard though. It is hard to
maybe
take the scientists.
below water treatment, above power plant.
I would put it below water treatment. That's fair.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Because it has to. You have to take it at tier 2.
All right, sewer branch with the. It's not really a
The
recent
classic?
change anymore, but with the new like recycler room underground, I feel like it made it worse. Like,
Why worse though? That if anything, that made me go back because the only reason to go would be the parkour. But besides that, you do the parkour, you do the loot room, and that is the best green card loot room. Sewer
it
Bridge
is
has
the
the best
best.
green card.
But the issue is that I feel like the second recycler is the only one you can even use. Like if you use the one up top, it's such a bad spot.
It's in the middle of the open after the update.
And the parkour is not worth it there compared to that water treatment because you're in the middle of a pit. If you are on that and anyone shows up, you're just dead.
Well, here's the thing, right? We didn't really discuss the exactly how we're going to judge these monuments because some of these monuments, I just like the appeal of them. I mean, Sewer Branch is just a big fucking hole, and there's just a giant little oil tank that you climb off. Like that is that was like the. I mean, if you're on top of that shit, you're going to get lit up. Anybody on that ridge, you're dead. It's a terrible spot to
Yeah.
defend from. But because of that, it makes it a very high PvP spot at certain points, which is really good in aspect. I also just like the design.
I like sewer branch. I think right now I'm picturing it probably between power plant and the research base, but I don't know if it belongs in A tier. I think it belongs in B tier.
You're right. I just have a soft heart for Sewer Branch, but in terms of like the gameplay, I think it is a B.
I think because of its value early game, it's better than what power plant provides in the mid late game. So I think it belongs above power plant, but not in A tier. This is not an A tier monument.
True.
If it'll let me put it there. There we go. All right, now
Yeah.
Oxums. Oxums, it has green crates early game. It has food early game. It has a good recycler. It has, if you're gonna be a car boy early game, you got car parts in there. Like
You got a little bit of gunpowder from the mine crates if you want to make an Ioka right off the bat. I mean, pretty decent.
if you're living in a tier 1 area, you want to be buying Oxums. Oxums is a
sure.
good spot, but
It's also really, really good for tier 3 kids as well.
yeah, yeah, you just sit there with your fucking AK on the roof of Oxums all day.
Yeah.
I think you can't argue that this is anywhere higher than B just because it doesn't have anything. But the
Right.
value that it provides early game, I think it belongs in B. But
Right.
probably at the bottom.
You know, here's the thing that I will say in terms of the judgment of this. I mean, like, obviously, it's an opinion when you say monument looks good or I like the design. Like, sure, whatever, but that can't be argued. But something that I think really does go into it that makes it automatically a tier above is when it's a well-designed PvP area where a tier 1 monument can turn into a tier 3. Like certain times at Harbor, but Harbor doesn't have that enough as Supermarket or Oxums, which makes them a tier above because they're such a small place to defend
Right.
that tier 3 kids could own it for like 30 minutes.
Yeah, I
Which is
mean,
cool.
it does depend on the period in which like of the time in the wipe that you're talking about. Early wipe,
Right.
this place is a fucking hellhole. But in like the middle, like the slower parts of the wipe where people are moving out to the other parts of the map, there's not that many grubs sitting in there. It's
Yeah.
pretty good. I think it gets a lot of value for what it provides, but definitely not anywhere higher than low B. But we could move it. I'm gonna put it in low B for now.
I think that's fair.
Now, supermarket is just worse Oxums in every way.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
not as good.
this is like low C, high D territory. The fact that it has a recycler, I feel like it has to be in C tier, just because you need a recycler to do anything. But it's a shitty recycler location. No loot. It's just worse Oxums. And if Oxums is low B, this has to be
It
low C.
definitely has to be C.
All right, Dome is, I mean, it's a
I think
classic.
it's S. It has to be S, in my opinion. I just love Dome so much. It's my favorite monument.
I mean, it's easy to take. It has good loot. It has diesel. It has a good recycler location now.
You can cheese it.
and
the
you can
only
cheese
monument
it.
you can cheese.
I think, but
Not much loot.
high
But
A.
here's the thing. The loot isn't great. That's the only reason
Yeah.
that I can put it in S.
Well, you could get a good bit of loot if you do the whole dome. You get like a decent amount,
You can
but
get up to 6 green crates if you get a good spawn,
right. But
which is just like a puzzle, really. So
the issue is most people are cheesing it, so the crates are never at the top, and you're only getting the ones inside. So I think
that's true. I think A is fair, especially because we put all the puzzles on A, where Dome is not even a fucking puzzle.
no. What
But
about
it is
this?
awesome. I would personally, Dome is more fun than water treatment.
It is, but yeah, but water treatment does have a better puzzle, and you can get red card there, and you can get a similar amount of green crates, and you get the locked crate.
That's true. It has more to offer, so I think that is fair. Dome, it's just I just have a soft heart again.
Yeah. Now
Sats after the update, it really improved Sats in my opinion.
it did, but still don't think it's that good. I
It's a
think
green monument.
it's like this is like a tier like 1.5 monument, not quite tier 2. You don't get that much loot. It does have a okay recycler. It does have better loot than it used to, but still pretty trash. I think. Can you argue that this is better than Excavator?
Yes, because um, it can definitely be a decent PvP hotspot. The crates are better, and you get them faster from Giant. I mean from Sats versus Giant. But what is the but with Sats? I mean, like the recycler, the recycler's in a decent spot.
Yeah, it's all right.
You don't have to fight scientists for a recycler. It's already an open monument. So I
Yeah,
think just because of that, it has to be above Excavator. Just not sure about Power Plant though, honestly.
power
I
plant.
guess
Just because power plant has a better card
it's
room
true.
and more crates. Wait, can't
Yeah,
can
and
can locked crate spawn at power plant?
it can.
Then yeah, I think it has to be above
Okay.
Sats. Now fishing village. Now okay,
The shops are
before
harder to decide on.
before the fishing update, this was terrible.
Hmm.
But the fact that you can sell for scrap and then buy a boat is pretty good. I think
It's the
fishing
only way to
is
get a boat.
a bitter. It's a bit underrated. You can get a decent amount of scrap fishing, especially if you're also farming piles. You need a
Yep.
boat, and it's not really reliable to get a boat off the water anymore. You have to go buy one.
Hold up. Sorry, I came back. Train yard is S tier. Shut the fuck up.
You're wrong.
What are you
Uh,
talking about? How you are literally the only you play Rust for the trains. How could you say it's Oh, you said S. I thought you said
Yeah.
D.
I said S, yeah. Chugga chugga
Okay.
choo choo. I love fucking trains, dog.
That's like a train yard is
look,
number 1 on A, so
it's
think
currently the
about
highest ranked thing on the board. You can't be
right now,
complaining
yeah.
about that.
Yeah, I
It's
can be. It's not the highest of all. It's S tier. Get
you
it up
haven't
there.
okay, listen, Cal, once you get on Rust, we'll take it to launch, we'll take it to military, and then you can decide on that decision.
Hey Cal, kill yourself.
All right, back on topic. Back
For
on
that.
topic. Fishing village. I think
That
it
see?
doesn't have any loot. It just has a shop that you can sell for scrap. But it's a safe zone and you can buy shit there. I think it's probably low C, not D because it has some value.
I think so, and on top of that, one flaw that I will point out with Fishing Village is out of any safe zone where I didn't realize I was combat hit because I fucking shot it with the crossbow. Every time I walk past Fishing Village, that kills me every time. I swear to God. So
It's
that
so
was
stupid.
it sucks.
Alright. Underwater labs, I think the fact that you
They
have to go
deserve
find a
more
fucking
respect.
submarine and you have to sit down there and have the shark glitch through the
Yeah.
wall and jump scare you and shoot scientists. This place sucks. This place is terrible. There's like
It's bad, but
there's
it
not
is
that
kind of
much
fun
loot.
though.
It's not that much loot. It's
But
like
it has unique crates,
it
which is why
does.
I do have a little like it is like once you're in, like it's a monument. It's a monument.
It is
like,
one of the most monuments. I think this is like it's you. When's the last time you said to yourself, "Man, I think we need to go to the fucking underwater labs." No one, no one runs this garbage monument, man. It's like bootleg Subnautica knockoff shit. No one
yeah,
wants to go to this monument. This monument
no,
is garbage. This is high
it really
C
is.
just because everyone
Not
hates it.
high C.
It has better loot.
I guess. Okay, I guess the loot. Sure. Yeah. Fair.
If you have a submarine, you have this monument to yourself. It's sure as
Yeah.
hell no one else is going there.
I mean, you could get scuba gear, but I ain't swimming out there.
Oh, fuck that. Now the,
Yeah.
the fucking stables are D tier. Do we
D,
even
I
have
was
to
about to
talk
say,
about it?
no.
If you
I
buy a
have
horse, you're an idiot. You're just stupid.
It's just useless.
There's
Okay.
nothing else needs to be said here.
Airfield is a classic. It's been around since 2014, I think. This is going to be a hard one because the history of Airfield has me wanting to say S, but what it is now, it's A.
I mean, I would think I would agree with A, but now it's the question of where in this list does it belong? Because water treatment has a better like a locked crate spawn where you can actually hold it. But like airfield, if it spawns
Has
there, airfield's too big. It's too big and it's too open. You can't ever loot that shit.
Yeah, if the lock crate spawns there, whoever's already there has it. It's theirs.
Yeah, I think
I mean, I've countered it, and it's fucking fun to counter someone like when they're doing that. But if they're too big, like 3 or 4, it's like you can't really.
I think airfield has a good amount of loot, a good puzzle, a good secure recycler. I think it's probably better than dome. Not as good as water treatment.
I think that's a good placement. Yeah, Airfield also has rads, like decent, like
A
20
lot of rads.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. All right. Now outpost. I
Mm,
think you're hard pressed
yeah,
to say this is anything, but is it S tier? Just it has so much.
it really does. And it's kind of the heart of like the Rust community as of right now.
I mean, the whole map revolves around outpost. You need to be close to outpost. You need to buy minis. You need to buy
The shop system.
jackhammers. You gotta use the
Ooh,
safe recyclers.
yeah.
I
Every
mean,
wipe outpost, you're going there.
you gotta be going to outpost. I think just it's such a core of the gameplay at this point. It's gotta be S tier.
I think that is fair. The only thing is it doesn't have loot. But I mean, like at the same time, you could argue that by saying like, well, you could go hit barrels and then go get your loot from outpost by buying it because it's that easy.
I mean, yeah, like if you have scrap already, there's no monument you'd rather be than outpost.
Exactly. I think S is fair.
I think and we can always adjust at the end, but I think for right now, I think it belongs alone in S tier.
Definitely, yeah.
Now, mining outpost, it sucks. This sucks.
It's not good anymore.
I think
I
it's
liked it in
D.
the
I think it's
beginning.
high D. Better than stables?
Damn. I don't know. I just have like a lot of feelings for mining outpost.
It used to be the spot. I mean, hey.
It used to be, but that was because there was no other recycler to go to.
Yeah, they added a lot more recyclers since it was actually a place you wanted to be.
But
There's
now
no
it's pretty
green
much-
crates.
Yeah, there are no green crates. There's plenty of brown crates, but it is pretty much like the. Well, okay, listen though. With supermarket, I mean, like you're probably going to get more crates out of mining outpost than supermarket. There's 5
Now
crates that can spawn,
you're right with I mean,
and it's super easy to loot.
I think, but then that leads me to think more that we need to put these into D tier because these are way better. I think we need to adjust what we're doing here. I think these need to go down. I think these all need to
Okay.
go down. I think it needs to go like
Mission
that.
Village, Brandon.
I'd probably swap them.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's fair because those are proper monuments in C, designed to be a monument. D, I mean, like you couldn't even put it. You don't even have to mark it on the map because nobody would even like you're not looking for it.
No.
If you come across it, you'll loot it. That's pretty much how it works.
No one's gonna walk out of their base and be like, I think I want to go to mining outpost and get the brown crates.
Yeah.
You maybe use it
Well-
for the recycler, but you're just gonna get grubbed.
Exactly.
All right. Now, Bandit Camp, I think used to be more of a necessity, but now that everything that was in it is in Outpost, I feel like it's not as good.
It's got the gambling. Well,
The Outpost
the
has gambling now.
Has gambling now. Yeah.
I feel like it's obsolete. If you're on a map with Outpost and
Well-
Bandit Camp, why would you go to Bandit Camp?
Bandit has gun and weapon shops. I don't think Outpost has that right now.
I'm not sure either. Does it have
That's why the-
drones? It has drones, so it has the same drone thing as Outpost.
You're right. Actually, it does.
But I think, I don't know. It is good to farm the trees there within the safe zone early game. You can get so much wood.
Well, here's the unsettled thing that we still haven't really figured out, because I don't know if it's true that Outpost or if Bandit Camp's been removed from vanilla. Because if you think, like, from my experience at least, that's why Outpost and Bandit Camp can be interchanged. Because if there's no Outpost and there's a Bandit Camp becomes Outpost essentially.
Yeah,
Not entirely though. The shops, it doesn't add shops to Bandit Camp. It just brings like the helicopter, the gambling, the drones, and maybe something else. But that's weird though. It's so Outpost is always going to be better than Bandit
Yeah,
Camp for sure,
always.
because Outpost always has way more shops and has everything Bandit Camp. Every like limited item or event or whatever at Bandit Camp is just carried over to Outpost, but not the same vice versa.
and
Bandit Camp is terrible when it's by itself.
Outpost has 4 times the recyclers. It has a refinery. It has a tier 1. Like,
Yeah,
Bandit
true.
does not have the same, like, it's just
Yeah.
not as good. It's just a worse version. And I think
I would say right now it's C.
C tier. I mean, I'd probably put it in B. I'd probably put it like mid B.
Okay, because that's fair. It's just that if there is a bandit and an outpost on the map, I would assume that the roles are split between the two. That there's not going to be a helicopter, and there might not be gambling at outposts, and the drones are still going to stay at outposts. I think outpost has priority over drones if they're split. But if that's the case, bandit would definitely be B. But by itself,
I think if it's the only one on the map, it's A. If there's Outpost and Bandit, it's B.
okay, yeah, I think that is fair then.
So I think
B is probably
mid B, probably better than Excavator.
right.
Probably better than Sats, let's be honest.
Yeah, it is a good, decent shop to go to, but it depends on what else is on the map, outpost
Yeah.
or not.
Alright, Large Harbor. Now, Large Harbor has Recycler at that warehouse, right? It's not the one on the water.
Yeah, it's the big gated area.
I think it's a worse harbor.
It's a harder spot for
I
sure.
think Large Harbor is worse than Small Harbor.
That's true.
I think Large Harbor,
A little
Just-
bit more loot.
now, Large Harbor, I think, is still viable if you're on a boat and coming into recycle, but way less viable than Small Harbor. Now, I don't know how many more crates Large Harbor has. I know some green crates can spawn at Harbor, right? And those ships on the dock, like way out. There's gonna be like
You're
one
only
or
gonna get, like,
two.
two. Yeah.
So I think it's probably C tier. I think Large Harbor is probably low C tier, and I think Small Harbor, because of the better recycler, is probably mid. Like,
Mid C. That's fair.
probably like that.
Yeah, I agree actually.
And now no high tier people come to this monument either. And there's a refinery. So it's pretty good. Better than
Right.
mining Outpost Supermarket. Not as good as Oxum's. Belongs in a tier below it.
Hmm.
Now Junkyard is an interesting
It is a
little,
very. Have you seen the
monument.
updated version? Have you
Yeah,
been to it after?
with the magnet. Yeah.
Yep. Well, not even just that, but after they reworked all the monuments and redesigned all of them.
Yeah. We went there last swipe.
Okay, so then yeah, you know what the design is now. I think it's a little bit better.
Yeah.
You don't have to freaking try jumping 3 times to get on the metal to go up to the recycler like last time. It's like you couldn't make that jump. So Yeah, I think junkyard. I'm saying in between C and B. I'm not too sure, just because there's not that much it offers really.
No, it's kind of like the car magnet crusher thing. It's like
I think you
you're
get
just
decent stuff out of it.
you get like 50 scrap a car, but like you're just sitting there moving a magnet thing around for 10 minutes. Like it's not worth it. It's not worth it. I think this is probably not as good as Harbor.
Really?
Yeah,
Hmm.
because of all the value that Harbor
But
provides
but
to boat people.
you have a lot more loot at junkyard though. It's still technically like it's a green monument like Harbor, but there's no puzzle at junkyard.
No, I think Junkyard has a worse recycler, worse place on the map, and no like unique value. It is just kind of there. No one's doing the shredding thing with the cars. It takes too long.
Yeah.
The
The loot's
controls are all
impossible to
fucked up.
find.
Yeah, and it
You could
no.
memorize the loot spots there. It's a maze.
I think it has to be
Um,
low C tier.
I'll be back. I think I'm gonna go nap for like an hour or two.
Goodbye.
I'm
Alright,
so
dream
fucking
about me.
tired.
All right, now we're getting into the juicy ones though.
There's some controversy coming up. I feel like there's some controversy here.
Oil rig.
Look, large, fucking amazing. PvP spots, the vents, the positioning, the amount of scientists. It's a lot harder to take when someone is or it's a lot harder to defend and
Yeah,
also harder to take. Like it's both like it's definitely like a draw, like a standoff between people who are countering oil.
yeah.
Small, you can just if you got 4 people, you could just own that shit. 4 people on a corner and it's yours. I mean, it's not hard.
I think small oil, like you would assume, like, oh, it's smaller, it's probably more viable for smaller groups, but it really is not. It is not. If you are on small oil and someone comes to counter you and you have less than 3 people, you're fucked.
That's true.
Like people, like 10-man clans will come there in their scrap heli. But
Oh.
the thing with large oil is that people are scared to go to it, so less people use it. And large oil, you have actual like chances to defend it if someone comes to counter. There's actual places to hide. Um, I think large oil is better than small, but I think they both belong in S. I think maybe small is high A, but large oil is for sure S tier.
I think that's a fact.
But
Yeah,
small oil is probably like highest tier A, not quite as
That's-
good.
that's definitely fair.
Now launch site, I think you have to put this in S tier.
You have to.
It's just it's the
It's
best
a
monument.
masterpiece. It's a masterpiece monument. But I will say something that really makes me want to put it in low S tier. Like like what you did is because you can't cheese it no more. That I wouldn't even see the light
What
of day of launch site unless you could cheese it.
now Bradley, I think makes it better than Outpost.
Definitely. Bradley is really, really good loot.
Yeah.
M249 50/50. It's crazy.
All right, we're getting into the last two here. We got Lighthouse coming up. Now Lighthouse is kind of garbage, to be honest. It's kind of terrible.
There's
It's
nothing really good there.
nothing's good. The recycler's in a decent spot. You can get a green card. You can get some crates, but it's it really isn't doing it for me. I think Lighthouse is probably D tier.
High D.
I would probably put it above Supermarket. Below.
You think it's below Outpost?
Nah. Yeah, I think it's probably like this. Probably better than Fishing Village.
Lighthouse is one of the safest recyclers.
It is safe, yeah. I think I'd put it right there. I think that's probably fair.
All right, last but not least, got
Miltons.
Miltons.
Miltons takes so long to clear, but
It
it has
is.
a ton of shit.
It does.
I think.
It doesn't belong in S. In my opinion,
No.
it just doesn't.
I think it belongs probably above Train Yard.
Yeah, it's not as good as small.
I think
Not as good as small.
you get a lot more loot, but it's harder, but it's probably more worth it than going to Train Yard.
That's fair. I'm gonna screenshot this just so we know that we the realist.
We'll put this. So let's go through each tier and make sure we don't want to move anything around, and then we'll finalize it. So in S tier we have #1 monument in the game, large oil,
Mm,
followed by launch site and outpost. Standing alone in S tier. Are we okay with that? Does that seem fair?
that's definitely fair.
All right, now A tier starts off with small oil, mill tons, train yard, water treatment, airfield, dome, and Arctic. Now the only thing I look at here is, does Arctic belong in A tier with these monuments?
That's what I was thinking. If it's at the bottom, it's just there's so much in A tier, you know.
I feel like it isn't good enough to get that push into A tier. I feel like it's probably a high B.
But again, the loot there is crazy. I mean, there's a lot of loot. The scientists aren't that hard to take,
You know the risk of driving there?
and the snowmobile is amazing.
Yeah.
Um,
I think we
get
keep it where it
pulled
is.
over while
I think
driving
A
on a
is fair.
permit, you will probably lose your permit.
Now B tier. Sewer branch top B tier. Sewer branch is a pretty good
Really
monument.
want to go to
Power
McDonald's?
plant top B tier. It's underrated. Pretty slept on. Bandit camp, we talked about whether or not it's solo on the map with outpost or without, but I think it probably belongs where it is, given that it
Yeah,
can't always
guys,
be there.
I'll be back in like 20 minutes. All right.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys are
Okey-dokey.
gonna play Rust or something or.
I'll probably
But,
hop on.
all right, give me a sec. I gotta go fucking drive these retards to go get ice cream.
Ice cream.
Sats. Now looking at it here, I feel like excavator has more value than Sats, just because excavator has the excavator.
You'll definitely stay at excavator for a long time.
But if you take excavator, you do have a safe recycler.
I remember a few times we got pulled up on in excavator, and that room is hard to defend where the recycler is.
It is.
Once they're past like up the gates and everything, because I will say it's easy to like defend because it's like in a pit and it's circular. But if you're in that room, like you'll get grubbed easy if someone is already on the gates.
Yeah, that's true. I think it's probably
I
okay where it
don't know.
is. Now Oxums, I think just because it's the best of its tier, probably belongs in B. In low B. It shouldn't go any further. I
I think it's a
think
good spot.
it's a good spot too. C tier, the labs are good, but no one goes to them. Underground tunnels are good, have decent loot, but it just takes a lot of resources. Small harbor is the best for boat people. It's got a good recycler. It has a refinery. Abandoned military is not really a destination. You don't really get that much value for killing the scientists. Probably belongs there. Large harbor is just a worse small harbor. Junkyard isn't really that important of a monument. No one really picks it. So I think it's probably good where it is. Lighthouse, not good at anything, just kind of mediocre at everything, but does have a safe recycler and a green card. Fishing village is just kind of there unless you have a very specific use for it, like you're selling fish. Like it, it's a D tier. And
Yeah.
then mining outpost supermarket are pretty much the same in my head. Just mining outpost has more brown crates, so it has more loot. And stables are worthless.
Completely. Worst fucking monument in the game.
Yeah, I think this
They'll
is
probably
good.
another one that's D tier. Who knows? God. This is a very good list. I think this is very well thought out. If you took this to the devs, I think they would agree.
I think they should hire us to make the new monument.
And it's going to surpass large.
That would be hard. I think that I don't know,
It's
man.
got to have some fluidity, man. Like, and there's not a lot of space on the map, but like, I don't know. I mean, man,
I
what? I
think
mean, I don't know.
I don't know. I think this is a good stopping point. I think we've put a lot of good thoughts out there into the world. I think they can
Yeah,
appreciate our thoughts on the Rust monuments.
yeah. You're gonna have to post this somewhere where they'll see it.